Hello guys, and welcome back to once again another K-Tapes. Today I have, like I promised you on the last video, today everything I'm going to show you is basically just old school tapes, alright? So there's no late releases, no post 2006 tapes, none of that stuff. We're only diving into what I call the good stuff, so like things that collectors really are after most of the time. Alright, so let's get started because I do have close to 40 tapes to show you, maybe, yeah, between 35-40 tapes. And one more thing before I start, one last thing should I say, is, oh my god, I have some bangers in there. It's stuff like, you know, you find these tapes, let's say once every 5 years, and of course, every time I find those, they go for sale. They sell, generally speaking, almost immediately, which makes them even more desirable. So I have, like, I would say 2 or 3 of those like extremely highly desirable tapes. So let's get to it. And by the way, there's no order as usual. I'm just pulling them out of the piles and just showing them to you. All right. So first of all, let's start with some I wouldn't say more common, but here I have Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which has such a good, cool cover art. Sorry. I do remember the American one and even the Quebec one, which had like the French Canadian, which had like a picture of Freddy, which would scare me in the alley and the aisle, sorry, of the video store as a kid. I couldn't look at that cover; it would really freak me out. I was young, you know. Yeah, if you just type like Les Griffes de la Nuit 2, Part 2, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, the French Canadian cover, it's really creepy. Okay, so anyway, this is the South Korean cover, really cool copy. Of course, it's not unfaded, right? But it is a very beautiful copy nonetheless. I think the only thing was the case is broken here and there, but that's it. I mean, yeah, for most people it's a no-no, but I mean, unless I do find another SKC, because this is SKC, as you can see here, SKC clamshell, eventually I'll just swap it. And the SKC clamshells, the red ones, are not that difficult to find. So down the road, if no one buys it, I'll just, yeah, I'll swap the clamshell at some point. Anyway, and also another thing, I have all the other Nightmare on Elm Street in stock, and this is the only one I didn't have, so that's why I went for it. Again, speaking of Nightmare on Elm Street, well, I bought Part 2 and there was a Part 3 just lying next to it, so I picked it up. And this one is also in decent shape overall. I love this picture on the back. When it cuts the head, it's so gruesome. Anyway, so Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. It's a spare copy for my collection. Okay, next. Oh, this is super cool. This happens to be an Indonesian film. I forgot the title, but it's something women, like not 3 women, but action women or something. Anyway, I'll post down, as usual, I'll post down the name of the movie down below. So yeah, Filipino film, very rare. I double checked because someone asked me about it, like about the language, because someone is doing like some cool projects with the Indonesian films, like, you know, redoing putting like the right audio track, widescreen prints, and so on. So he wanted to know if this one was an English dub of the film, because apparently to his knowledge, at least, there are no English dubs that actually surfaced. So he was wondering if this one was the English dub. It sadly isn't. It is a Mandarin dub. I know it's weird, probably because they took, I guess, a Taiwanese print to release this one in South Korea. So even the titles, the credits at the beginning, they're all in Chinese. but the film is Indonesian. So there you go. Oh yeah, another thing, the spine is extremely sun faded, which is a huge drawback. Although, like I said, it's really rare. On the back is so cool. I love this kind of stuff. I mean, this screams like, take me, you know, on a shelf. Like you see this, you're like, okay, it's coming with me. And also, yeah, the copy is super clean. I mean, if you're a tape collector or even just a film buff, you want to see this film, look at this. This has a beautiful playback. Okay, next. Now here I have something else that's very rare, and thanks to a friend of mine who's actually also a seller on Facebook and also on, more specifically on eBay. He grabbed this one for me because I had a copy before. My copy was actually rotten. It was like horribly moldy, and he grabbed a copy that was actually a little bit moldy, but way less than the one I had. So this one I was able to clean it up, and look at this. It's immaculate. It's beautiful. So yeah, this is a Filipino film called, I was gonna make a mistake here, Zigomar. What looks like a Filipino Zorro. Again, I could be wrong. I'm just, you know, I just based my assumption on the pictures that I see on the cover right there. Probably has nothing to do with the film, but nonetheless, I think it's fairly rare. Again, another thing, I don't know about the language on this one, so if someone is interested, I can look it up. But again, this will go for sale very soon. Okay, next, speaking of Filipino films, I have I never know how to pronounce his name, but Cirio H. Santiago, Cirio, whatever, Cirio. Santiago. By the way, it's wavy, I know, but it looks, I mean, I'll press on it, it should look okay. I guess maybe because the casing is a bit smaller, I don't know. It was like that before, but I threw away the clamshell. It was really disgusting, and I put it in something much cleaner. Anyway, this movie is called Hell Hole. I don't know much about it. I just saw the cover with the girl, the gun. I mean, again, this is the kind of stuff that screams pick me up. Whenever I see like covers like this, it's so cool, so I decided to pick it up. I have no idea what this is. The release is 1989, so I guess the film came out more or less around that time, so probably in like an 87, 88 film, I don't know. Maybe a bit older even. So, Hell Hole. All right, so we continue with the Filipino films. This one I forgot who made this one, maybe the same director. It's called Death Squad, and again, cool cover, everything. And the Filipino actions, I kind of enjoyed them. I mean, I know many people are kind of fans of those films, you know, like the Vietnam War that is shot in the Philippines kind of movies, the war films. I think there's a bunch of them that people are still looking for, are very rare, and it happens that South Korea released them. So that's why whenever I see some of them and the prices are okay, I just pick them up. And this one is actually, it's barely fair. I mean, it does have a bit of sun fade, but it is beautiful. I mean, you don't get anything more beautiful than this, or actually rarely, for a tape that is from the 80s, from 1989, so it's not a young tape by any means. So Death Squad. Okay, here we have Extreme Project. I believe this is a Godfrey Ho film, IFD production. Again, I picked this one up because, yeah, anything Godfrey Ho IFD is always kind of cool to get. I mean, it's terrible, or it's hilarious, or it's just, I don't know. It's the kind of crappy movies that everyone loves to watch. At least everyone on this channel, I believe. Anyway, so also, as you can see, the spine is also very beautiful, no sun fade whatsoever. And this one is also, like, I think 1989, so yeah, very quite old and very rare tape. It's the first time I see this one, so that's why I picked it up. So Extreme Project. There's probably another title for this. Okay. Next, yeah, this one, I remember seeing this a long time ago, and I left it there when I was in the shop a long time ago. This is actually well, it says it right there. It's just a part 4 that kind of threw me off. At the time I was like, what is this crap? Because I mean, you have to know that in South Korea they always make a montage of pictures that have nothing to do with the film. So that's exactly what I thought it was. I thought it was like just some generic, crappy, late 90s, straight-to-video zombie film, and they just put, you know, Night of the Living Dead picture there, and that was it. But no, this is actually Night of the Living Dead by Tom Savini. So this is the remake of George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Well, I mean, you'll be like, duh, all the photos on the back point in that direction, and you would be right. But at the time, yeah, I just saw this in the big part 4, and I was like, what is this crap? And I left it there. But thankfully, I came across another copy just last week. And when I noticed it was this film, oh my God, I jumped on it, because this is actually pretty rare. Like I said, I saw it a long time ago. I dismissed it, and after that, I never seen this film again. Actually, this tape. So there you go. Night of the Living Dead, the remake. Oh, next we have the beautiful, well, it says Rambo. It's not Rambo, it's Deadly Prey, with the super cool Rambo on top. I had this copy before, I had this film before on tape. I think I scored a total, including this one, maybe 3 or 4 copies. But this copy is by far the most beautiful one. And by that I mean, like, the other ones were pretty decent. I mean, especially one that I sold recently. It was quite a nice copy, but this one is absolutely, like, it's gorgeous. I mean, look at this. It's totally unfaded on the spine. Let me just focus a little bit. It's totally unfaded, beautiful spine, as you can see. The box is also in pretty good shape. I mean, I cleaned it up and everything, and it's the original box, although it's a generic box. So there's no logo. This company doesn't have like a box with a logo. So it feels very generic, but yeah. So Deadly Prey, there you go, Deadly Prey. Here's the back. Really cool tape. Beautiful copy. I mean, the best copy I've ever found. Okay, next we have, let me just focus. Okay, next we have, okay, this one, I'm sure some of you, the Kung Fu fans, you know what it is, and you'll be like, okay, yeah, it's not that much of a rare film, although in Korea it is a rare tape. This is the Crippled Masters. I believe there's an S, Masters, because there's 2 of them. Crippled Masters. And what's special about this tape is that it is the original, I'm gonna make a mistake here, Mandarin or Cantonese? I think it's the Cantonese. Well, whatever the movie original version is, if it's Cantonese, it's the Cantonese track. Again, I'm mistaken here. I'm kind of doubt what I'm saying here. But anyway, it is the original audio track. That's what I mean. So if it's Mandarin, it is Mandarin. If it's Cantonese, I'm just a bit confused. But I think it's the movie original audio is Cantonese. Anyway, so Crippled Masters. Very old tape. As you can see, also it's a small case. So this is quite rare, and the tape dates from back to 1985. 1985, and if you remember last time when I talked about some old Korean tapes, the very first Korean tapes were released, I think, like early 1982. So 1985 is really old for Korean tape, by the way. So there you have it, Crippled Masters. Okay, next we have a Korean film called Oh my god, I'm so terrible at pronouncing this name. Theater. So cinema in French. Theater, and Theater is a horror film from South Korea that came out in 2001. In the past, I think I found 2 copies of this one. It's very rare for some reasons because it's not like that much of an old film. But for some reason it's really rare, and it never had a DVD or a VCD or whatever other releases on other format in South Korea. So in South Korea there's only this tape and that's it. Although I've heard there was a Japanese, I was going to say Laserdisc, a Japanese DVD that exists. But is it rare, hard to find? I would guess that it's probably quite hard to find. But anyway, this is a tape channel and it's about Korean tapes. So this is the Korean tape of Theater. Okay, I'm down to, I do have 2 more piles like the one I just showed you before. So the next tape we have, oh my god, this by the way again is now quite rare and really hard to find. I'm trying to figure like when was the last time I had a copy in stock. I think it's been like maybe 5 years, 4 years at least. So anyway, maybe if you haven't guessed, it's by the way Day of the Dead by George Romero. The cover is really cool. This is a beautiful copy as well. I mean, it's not unfaded by any means, but it's so cool, and you gotta love the little Pac-Man logo on the spine. Yeah. I mean, all right, it's back in the days when, you know, copyrights didn't mean anything, so that was their logo. Okay, all right, so Day of the Dead, Romero. Just show you on the back. You have some cool screenshots, the characters, the actors on the top. It's really cool, really nice. Oh, and by the way, the Pac-Man is because the label is called Home Game. So I guess game, Pac-Man, you know. So there you have it. Okay, next. Oh yeah, remember before, my pile is a bit far, I cannot show it to you. I showed you Gator Bait. Now I have Gator Bait 2. It's so cool because the Gator Bait 1, I've never seen it before. So when I picked it up, it was a total surprise. And now I have like part 2, which also I've never seen. So I mean, someone who loves those films would like to have Gator Bait 1 and 2. Well, I have both of them, and they're both released on the CIC label. This one has a gorgeous cover and spine as well. I mean, it does have again some sun fade because, you know, it's Korea, but it is by all standards a super nice copy. And also, you know, like when I showed you Gator Bait 1, the sleeve was really crappy. I did find another one, so I swapped it. So actually both Gator Bait tapes are in quite good shape. So this is part 2, Gator Bait 2. Okay, next, this tape is already sold because someone asked me a long time ago. A while ago, and I sold the copy I just got in, and now I decided to give him this copy because I just got one back in stock, and it is Cannibal Ferox. Nice copy, by the way. So I'm just waiting for the person's, we're gonna deal something out because he's taking a couple tapes, but this one, yeah, it doesn't come out too often. I would say Cannibal Holocaust is more common than Ferox. Ferox is, I mean, it used to be quite common, to be fair, but now it's getting harder to get this one. And this one is like I said, a very nice copy. So very gruesome back cover with the skeleton. It's really cool. Speaking of Cannibal Holocaust, well, of course, I picked up another copy. Because every time I see a copy of this, I pick it up. Like I said, they're not super crazy rare, but it's been a while before, like, I think I was like 2 years without finding any copies, and then boom, 2 or 3 copies popped up within a couple months. So yeah, since again we're in 2022 and it's getting harder and harder to find tapes, if I do find one copy, you know what, I'm not gonna let it there, I'm not gonna leave it there, I'm gonna pick it up. So Cannibal Holocaust. Okay, next is something I just found the cover really cool. I think that this has maybe a DVD, several other releases. I don't care. I just found the tape so cool and so pristine. This is one of those tapes, by the way. This tape is freaking mint. Even the cover, look, it's all a beautiful glossy. Like there's no scratches, nothing. It was still in kind of like a shrink wrap, by the way. Like, it wasn't sealed, but it had like some shrink wrap tape on top, so that's why it's so pristine. So anyway, this is Karate Warrior 2. I've heard from someone that there's, I think, 12 parts of Karate Warrior. I didn't even know there was like 2 of them. So, I mean, all right, cool. We learn something new every day. So karate. Karate should be more precise than karate. Karate sounds so American. Sorry, American audience, I'm not making fun of you guys. So, Karate Warrior 2. Okay, next. Okay, here we have a bomb. This has been in such a high demand, and whenever I have a copy, it's one of those tapes that, you know, flies off the shelf right away, no matter what the price, which is kind of like, wow. I'm not going to complain, of course. And this copy is gorgeous. It's beautiful. If someone wants it, I mean, you're going to get like a nice piece in your collection right there. And this is Killing American Style. I think before, however, you can go check my other videos when I showed you this tape before. But you see the title in Hangul, in Korean right here. Before it used to be at the bottom, and all this scene here with the, you know, the head kick and the chick with the bikini, whatever. This part is not part of the cover. You have the guy, you have the other guy on the back, and you have the title at the bottom. So there's a different layout of the cover. And I think this one is the cooler of the two. So yeah, here you have it, the spine. It's beautiful. They have like this kind of foil, like golden logo, should I say? Let me just show it to you. So here you go in Korean. King Media or something like this. And here on the back, although I don't know if they have the same back cover, I would need to check, like, because I scanned the cover, so I need to check if they're like the exact same cover, except for like this little golden thing and the Hangul text on the cover. So anyway, also gorgeous tape, gorgeous copy. This one will go for sale, so if you want it, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be your last chance, because who knows, maybe I'll find another one, but it is a very beautiful copy. Okay, next, this is one of my personal best in the whole pile. It's a Korean film, Kung Fu old school film. Again, actually beautiful cover. I mean, barely any sun fade on the spine. So this is your typical Kung Fu action, but it is a Korean film. It's not Hong Kong or Taiwanese film. So Korean actioneer. Quite old, very rare. Usually in Korea, it does sell for some good money because Koreans go after these tapes. So I have to fight. This one came out, it says 1983 at the very bottom. So like October 1983. So actually very old tape. Didn't know it was that old. Maybe that's why many people are after this movie. There you go. Okay, another heavy hitter. I don't know, I didn't put them in order. Like I said, it's just happening like this. But we have, yes, once again, a copy of The Burning. I sold one earlier this year. I think it was like very early January or very late December. Anyway, around that time. The thing is, this one looks a slightly better shape. By that I mean, The other one was quite faded on the spine. Well, you'll say like this one is obviously faded. It's not like pure red like this. But I think the other one was slightly more faded. So this would make this copy the best of the two. And I've only found 2 copies of this. And this is the actual second copy I've ever found. I had to change the clamshell because it was busted. But the tape is in excellent condition. The sleeve is actually very beautiful as well. So this would make an excellent piece for any collection. The Burning, which is Don't Go in the House, with the alternative, or should I say maybe original title. And by the way, this has been reserved. So again, I'm just in talk with the person who wants it, so we'll check it out. Okay, next I have a Ilsa, Harem Keeper of the Oil Sheiks. And this one is cool because it has like the 3 Ilsas on, I mean the 3 movies, characters, same girl, whatever, but on the cover, so it's so kick-ass with that blood splatter on the back. It's quite unique, very cool. It does have a bit of sun fade, but hey, I mean, it's a very highly desirable tape. Cool film. I mean, what else can I say? Yeah, Ilsa. Okay, next I have another, this is I think Taiwanese, Evil Hits Evil, but this is the, well, it's obviously a Korean tape, right? But it is also a Korean edit of the film, so it's a different cut of the film. And there's actually another release of that movie that has yet another cut of the film with like snippets of like scenes that you cannot find on this or on any other releases. And this tape also has unique scenes that are not in any other of the 2 or 3 versions around, so which makes it quite unique. It had like, you know, it was a bit like dirty. I cleaned everything the best as I could. Like here it was a bit beat up, but the overall aspect of this tape is quite nice, and of course the tape itself is pristine. So I mean, I guess that's what counts. So Evil, it's evil. Okay, next this is for me because I'm collecting them again because I sold a whole bunch of this set before, but this is the Korean Street Fighter. So yeah, it is Street Fighter the game, but as a live action film. And you can see on the spine right here, I mean on the side, all the characters, you know, with the terrible costumes. So it's a live action version of Street Fighter. So you'll be like, okay, you have a series? What do you mean by that? So what I mean is, see here it says 5, so this is tape number 5. The whole series, I don't know how many tapes there are, but I know there are quite a bunch. At the time, I think I had about 15, and I think there was like 15 out of maximum 18, so it was like almost a complete set, and I sold that to someone in the US. I kind of regret it, yes and no, because at the time I needed some money, and the person who bought it is a great collector, so I'm really happy it went to his collection. But nowadays, if I do find them again, because they're quite hard to get, I'm trying to rebuild another set, and I'm maybe somewhere halfway through, so I think I got like 6 or 7 tapes or something. All right. Next one, I have a Cobra against Ninja. I remember selling a copy of this to a nice gentleman in France, and was able to score another copy just recently. I believe both of them were in pretty much the same shape. The copy I sold before was very beautiful as well. This one looks quite good to me as well. There's some sun fade, yes, but otherwise quite very acceptable condition. I mean, the tape is clean, everything. So Cobra against Ninja. All right, we're down to our last pile. Ooh, Okay, well, maybe you're like, okay, he showed us all the heavy hitters, we're done, or he's just gonna keep the best for last. Like I said, there's no order, but next one is a heavy hitter, and this is another one that you don't see very often. It's Maniac. So Maniac, well, there's nothing to say because you all know what Maniac is. I mean, come on. The only thing though is right here. Okay, there was some damage. There was some damage inside. By that I mean it's probably some mold or something. I had to clean it, remove it, put some alcohol, kill the whole thing, whatever. But this part is very fragile, and the missing part here was already missing. I didn't like mess it up, and no, it was like that because I take really extreme care when I find things like this. I don't want to break them or anything. So anyway, it's a little bit of a shame because this tape is not that old, right? This is 2002, and you'd be like, come on, 2002, some mold, a little part that is missing, come on. But yeah, I mean, it's Korea. I mean, I cannot stress that enough. People don't really take care of their stuff, especially like tape sellers. They treat those as, I wouldn't say junk, but there's some actually Korean tape collectors that are extremely like they're really like curators when it comes to tapes, and they really place them like in order and it's clean. But most of them, or actually maybe the places I go to buy tapes, they usually don't care too much, and this was fair, more or less no exception. Anyway, the spine is good. So this is a huge plus. Again, many people look for, like I said, always the spine. Is it sun faded? Again, not all the collectors, but some. And this one is not. I mean, it's barely any sun fade, or I mean, I don't think there's any sun fade. It's maybe like 3% sun fade. And the back is good. Is good as well. I mean, it's pretty clean. So it's really only for this little bit here. So it's a shame, but I mean, hey, it's Maniac, and this tape is worth quite a lot, by the way. And every time I had it in the past twice. This is the third copy, and it always sold in a heartbeat. So this will also go for sale. Okay, next we have a Korean erotica, because why not? It's called Be Time, part 4, and you'll be like, well, yeah, whatever, we don't care. All right, cool. You don't care. I I agree with you guys. Maybe you don't care about these movies, but as you know, I kind of do some kind of research on those, just personal project with a friend. And anyway, this small series, because it's a tiny series, goes up to 4. And part 4 is actually super hard to find. So when I found it, I was like, yay. And well, for me, the quality of the general aesthetic of the tape doesn't really matter much, because I don't collect them for like collecting, but just more for the film and kind of archive them and check about those films. But it's always a cool plus to find a top copy of a film, no matter what. And this one is no exception. I mean, it's beautiful condition. So Be Time 4. Okay, all right, here we have a Filipino actioneer called Revenge of the Street Warrior. I spoke to a collector down in New York, I guess it was yesterday evening, who told me that apparently this tape, along with another one I have, the English track is really hard to find. Again, I'm not really, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not super knowledgeable about some of those, like kung fu stuff, especially kung fu stuff. I know barely nothing. But the Filipino films, I like to collect them or find them. But I don't know all the time, like all the information surrounding the releases. Like, oh, the copy I have is a super rare one. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't know. This one I didn't know, so I'm really happy that someone shared the information with me. And this copy was released in 1987, so this is quite hard to find now. It's really old, and as you can see, it hasn't been cut off or anything. It's just like it's a small case that has been put in a bigger case. And you know, I would say, how do you call that? The inlay inside is what the video stores would receive back in the days, that they can, you know, because it's a grid, so they can adjust this smaller sleeve inside to fit and look neat on a shelf. So yeah, voila. Revenge of the Street Warrior Filipino film. All right, another big hit, big movie, because I showed you Killing American Style before. Now we have Rambo Cop, which is actually Samurai Cop, another movie that is very much in demand. Although I would say Killing American Style is more than this one. But nonetheless, this one has well, it obviously has a cult following, and the Korean copy is so cool, and also with the title Rambo Cop. I mean, come on. It's a beautiful copy once again. Slight sun fade, but it's beautiful nonetheless. There you go on the back. Really cool copy. Okay, yeah, this is the other Filipino film I was referring to, speaking about like maybe it has, again, I didn't check them, but I suspect it's probably dubbed in English, which would make this quite rare apparently. And this is called The Raging Anger. I think it was like an early 1980 yeah, Filipino film, maybe 84, 82 to 84, somewhere around there. I checked yesterday on IMDb, but I just don't remember. The only thing though is the spine is horribly faded. I think there was a sticker here, so that's why it didn't fade. But everything else here just like I mean, there's no title, come on. But I guess the people who would want this, they don't care. They want it for the movie. They want it for the English dub, because this is so rare. But yeah, it would have been like cool to have like at least if we could have seen, you know, the title on the spine. There's no crazy sun fade like this. But anyway, whenever there's stuff like this that I know is really rare, for like a special dub, a special subtitle version or something, even though the copy looks like crap, I mean the sleeve, I'll pick it up anyway, because I know some people want to do some projects, or they just want this elusive version of the film that they've never seen before, this, you know, like dub or subbed or whatever. So this is one of them, The Raging Anger, my God. Okay, next one is a Hong Kong crime thriller, a bit horror, I guess, from the early 80s. I guess it was pre-Code or something. It's called, what is it called? A Life Full of Evils. This is another movie that I had in the past. Every time I had a copy, it was sold. I think I had like 2 copies in the past, so that would be the third one. And by that, maybe you guys think like, oh, he had 3 copies, it's not rare. We're talking about like, because I've been collecting tapes in South Korea since 2009. So, you know, 3 copies in like, you know, a span of 13, 14 years is really not much. So yeah, so this is quite rare, A Life Full of Evils. Okay, we're almost done. I have like 6 more to go. Oh, okay, this is the crown jewel of this video. After this, you can shut it off and go do something else. No, I'm kidding. The other movies after that are also really cool. But this one is one of those movies I just talked about, you know, 3 copies in freaking 14 years. And we're talking about Anthropophagus. Joe D'Amato's classic, should I say? I mean, this one and Buyo Omega, those are the 2 like everyone wants. And this one, this is a damn rare Korean tape. Although I found maybe again something like 3 copies. Maybe this is the 4th one, to be honest. But still, it's crazy rare, and I mean, the demand for this is off the roof. Okay. So even though I had like 5 spare copies, they would all go. So anyway, but the last time I had a copy of this was a couple years ago. Yeah, it's been a while. So how about the condition of this one? It's, again, well, sadly it is sun-faded. It has like a little sticker as well here. I could try to remove it, but it's a pricey tape. It's a rare tape. I'll leave it to the person who'll buy it. I mean, you can always use a hair dryer, I think, and you can like kind of peel it off, but it's something I do sometimes with like generic tapes, but this one I kind of don't want to touch it. I don't want to push my luck, let's say. So yeah, if you've never seen this tape, take a good look at it, because the next time you're gonna see it will probably be never, or in several years from now, I don't know. Again, we don't know, could be next month, but I don't think so. So there you go, Anthropophagus. And of course I have to mention it, but it's on our beautiful label DNS, who's like a very cool label for this cult type of film. This will this will also go for sale. The next one, if you're still around, the next one is another tape, by the way, I've never seen before. Maybe I've seen it and I was like, yeah, what is this? I tossed it away because I thought it was crap. But it's actually Phantasm 4 or Phantasm Oblivion. I do have in stock 1, 2, and 3, and I've never found a part 4, and I never knew a part 4 existed. Again, maybe because I just passed it on and I was like, what is this? Didn't pay attention. But when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, I gotta get this, because then I have like all the Phantasm that were released on tape. Because of course there's part 5, but that was much later on, so it doesn't have a tape release in South Korea. Spine is gorgeous. I think the only thing is, yeah, on the top it was folded because this was broken, the back of the clamshell. I changed the clamshell, so this had like some folds. I mean, yeah, it sucks, but otherwise, I mean, the front, the spine is good, the tape is good. I mean, it's cool, and it's really rare. Speaking of part 4s, here's another part 4. Called Karate Warrior 4. I showed you part 2 just before, and again, same person before told me apparently part 4 is one in the series that for some reason is really hard to find with an English dub, and we have some suspicion that maybe this one is an English dub. I don't know. I picked it up anyway because it's something I kind of never see, and I just talked about it just a few days ago, so I was like, oh, Karate Warrior Part 4, yeah, there you go. Okay, I'll pick it up. And there you go. Nice copy. Also, no fold on the back, no creases or anything. It's a decent shape, and the tape is in gorgeous condition as well. Okay, 3 more to go. Next one, I'm sorry, I know someone who wanted to pick this one up, but apparently I was a bit faster than he was, because this came from an online shop. Cruel Jaws. Cruel Jaws. I had this in the past, I think twice. That would make it the 3rd copy. The other copies, I think one was really nice. The other one was so-so. This one is kind of okay-ish also. It has some sun fade. Can get away with this. The back is okay. Maybe a bit of a fold here. Because yeah, the box was busted, I had to change it as well. But the front is really nice, and I think the tape is also in top shape. All right, almost finished. Okay, this one is Beyond the Door 3. There was somebody in the group, on the Facebook group, the collectors of Korean VHS, that had this for sale for quite some time. I don't know if he sold it or not, but I always thought it was such a cool tape, and I didn't understand why he couldn't sell it. Maybe it was the approach, I don't know. Or maybe nobody knew who he was, I don't know. Sometimes you have this stuff, you know, people put stuff for sale on Facebook, eBay, and you don't know the seller, and you're doubtful, and you don't want to, you know, take a chance. Maybe I'll be more lucky than that guy. But yeah, Beyond the Door 3. It's quite rare tape, by the way, and that's why I picked it up. And it's in, I wouldn't say in top shape, but in quite good condition. And yeah, rare tape. All right, the last one. I keep the best for last. No, it's not the best, but it's a good tape. It's called, well, it says Kill Night. I think it's just prison. Anyway, that prison horror film. It's on the, you can see it, but Gold Star label, and it's in its original Gold Star yellow clamshell, which I super cleaned up. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's all like sparkling. And the spine, oh my god, it's unfaded. And I'm always stunned when I see this stuff, because again, old tapes in South Korea, it's 1 in 1,000, and this one is that 1 in 1,000, and thankfully it happens to be on a cool title, you know, a cool horror film. It's not on some like lame romantic comedy or whatever, so it's on a cool horror film. So there you have it, such a nice release, beautiful cover and original clamshell, and this will go for sale as well. So these are all the goodies that I have for you today. Almost 30 something, almost 40 tapes. Well, 40 tapes, 45 minutes. I spoke enough. I'm sorry if it's too long. So once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you with the next one, I hope soon. Although I spend much money, so I want to sell some before buying more, because it's kind of overwhelming here in my room. Anyway, have a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like it, put a thumbs up, drop a comment, and maybe subscribe. All right, so cheers, see you next time.